Race number 8 is the first Class 3 over the 1200 metres. Starbright, there you go, just very lunar. Placed with 135 pounds last time. Vincent Ho and Francis Loy. Nakoni County draws a gates, a 2-time course and distance winner. Red Lion, he can't draw a barrier. He's won over 1400 at Dundalk and the Curragh prior to arriving. Runs right over the 1200 metres. Yo Beauty carries an extra £7 for a senior rider. Armour Eagle has placed second up. Divine Shining was known as Hoodlum when trained by John O'Benner and Holly Wynyard, won over the 1200 at Hawera. Leslie's a last start when it comes up in grade, and we've got a better run from Telecom Speed last time, and Ariel makes his Happy Valley debut. All right, so the speed over the 1200 metres here, Tom. With Yo Beauty in the race, he normally likes to run forward, but so too does Happy Sharing, who was disappointing last time.
He was a little bit disappointing. He led early and then he sort of handed up and trailed and didn't find a great deal last start either, did Happy Sharing. So, look, whether they try and hand up with him if Yo Beauty wants to lead, and you've also got Summit Cheers in the race who's drawn wide, and Starbright, Paul, he's a horse that can end up handy from barrier number 3 because he's normally pretty reliable when it comes to pace.
Yeah, exactly. So he won't be too far away, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Happy Sharing. As you say, it was disappointing last time. I suppose the query is Red Lion, because he did lead on debut, but with all his pace in the race from a wide draw, maybe it's best if he goes back just to avoid that wide run.
Funny you should say that. We might be able to find out a bit more about Red Lion right now, because Nick was out at track work this morning and spoke to Red Lion's trainer, John Size.
John, Red Lion is a lightly raced horse from your stable. Back to Happy Valley he will go, and he was very good in defeat last time.
Yeah, raced very well, didn't he? He got a good trip. He had a good passage around and was able to finish off quite nicely. To just come up a bit short. But he raced well the first day. He went to Happy Valley and then he backed it up. So he's on his way. He's going to win a race.
Not got the greatest of barriers, John. I guess that would be a slight concern. I mean, on his debut, he showed plenty of pace, but not as much last time. Plenty of pace in the race. I guess you'd be happy to take a lead, would you?
Yeah, well, it depends how he breaks, actually. Yeah. So if he jumps fast, he might have to go forward. If not, well, we come back a little bit and take advantage of the speed of the race. But in any case, it's an awkward draw, and it's very difficult to win from the 12.
He's only a 3-year-old. Has he always shown plenty of precocity since he's arrived in your stable?
He hasn't done anything wrong. He's gone to the races pretty quickly. He wasn't here very long before he had his first start. So he's had no interruptions, he's had no setbacks, and he's had a pretty smooth passage all the way through the last few months.
If I may just ask you about Tuchel here at the trials this morning. He trialled, he was back. Good to see him back as well. Looked to just go through the motions. Were you happy with him?
Yeah, I think so. He hasn't got the speed that those fast trial horses has, and so I think everything's in order with him. I just want to give him a little blowout this morning, and if he pulls up okay, we'll get back to the trials in a few weeks.
Have you got a possible date in mind for a return for him?
No. I'd have to have a look at him and see what sort of shape he's in, and he'll tell us when to go back to the races.
Wait and see for Tuchel fans, but Red Lion fans, Tom, won't have to wait too long till tomorrow night. But Zach Purton rides him. These are the stats when John and Zach get together. 14, 6 and 5 from just 36.
Yeah, pretty impressive win rate there as well, nearly 39%. So they've teamed up very strongly this season. Paul, of course, normally you'd have John Size going to the likes of Joe Moreira, but that just hasn't happened this year.
No, and as you can see from those stats, it's worked out really well for this combination. And Red Lion, obviously, one of the ones. I mean, Zach's rides, just having a quick look at the moment, the shortest price of the longest price of anything he's on is under 5. You know, he's 4.7 currently flying on the turf, so he's got chances on every single one of his runs, as you'd expect. Hit the shot, another one for John Size. How deep is your love in Red Lion? So could add to that stat.
Yep, so 3 times he combines, does Zach, with John on Wednesday night. That is a look at Red Lion. We move on now, Paul, to our first replay. We've got Armour Eagle 9th. He's been back to the trials following this run. He had mucus in the system. Starbright, good. Happy Sharing runs 4th.
Yeah, so Happy Sharing was disappointing at his next start after this. Armour Eagle, clear excuses with mucus as well, and has gone well second up in the past. Starbright's been racing well, but he's got to carry the big weight.
He does, and he's put on a little bit of weight since his last effort, and he did lose the stick there, Hugh Bowman, last time out. But Vincent's gotten well with this horse in the past, so definitely think he's a top 3 or 4 chance in this race, especially from the draw too.
Yeah, barrier number 3 this time. He had barrier 8 when second in that replay. We've got Yo Beauty here, Tom. Very hard to fault his form. He's only a horse that's won 1 from 23, but is normally so close. And Nakoni County is better than this 4th and should be better again from a better draw.
Yeah, I do like Nakoni County here from that good draw as you mentioned, Mark. He's had 10 and 11 in his last couple. Was beaten behind Beauty Tycoon last time out, but still like the way he was getting through between runners late. I've sidelined Yo Beauty this time round, Paul, just from barrier 10. That's the concern.
Yeah, that is the concern. Look, I put Yo Beauty in because I think he can get across, and if he does get across, he's been very consistent on honest horse this season.
Yeah, he sure has, and it will be Antoine Hamlin on board on Wednesday night. Leslie, Paul, it was a long time coming this win. When we say a long time, he's only had, a total of 9 starts, but he finally broke through and did it in style. Has to go up in grade this week.
He does. He comes in with a nice racing weight of 119, though, coming in. Look, he was consistent without winning. He was beaten on the bob a couple of times. He's finally put it all together. So if the pennies drop for him, I think he's definitely a chance. So I've included him.
He's certainly in Leslie, especially with only 119 pounds on his back. He carried 131 to a victory there and did in pretty good style, I thought.
He sure did. Kung Fu Tea, the horse he beat. Now, a newcomer here, Tom, is Divine Shining. Comes out of New Zealand, won over the 1200 at Hawera, now with Jimmy Ting. 4 trials, including winner the Youthful Deal 2 trials ago. This is his effort around Happy Valley. Yeah,
the trial wasn't too bad. Sort of a couple of mixed trials from him. He was taken back from a wide draw in this one, and he finished off quite well. I thought out wider, but his prior barrier trial, Paul, had gone and led all of the way. So I'm not really sure what we're going to expect from him. It was only a 3 other in the race that he beat in New Zealand when he did win, and then he's come out of 2 stakes races. So whether that form's strong or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I question it. I mean, he's won a 4-runner maiden, hasn't he? He did win it nice enough, but then he's got 4th in a listed race or a Group 3, and then he's finished towards the back in his next start. So look, I'm happy to watch him in this.
Want to get your thoughts too. We heard from John Size about Red Lion. Tom, how do you assess him in this race?
Yeah, I think he's certainly one of the top chances in this race. He drove hard late last time out, just missed. You saw him cross in the early stages there to get into a good position. What the tactics are going to be, it'll be interesting. They probably go forward from barrier number 12. Zach Purton's the master at getting him in, but he's going to need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, I'm not so sure whether they will go forward. I see when we talked to John Size, he did say look, he might let the pace of the race dictate. And there is a lot of pace in this race with Happy Sharing and Yo Beauty, so I just wonder if they will just take their time.
And with those horses in the race, Happy Sharing and Yo Beauty, is he the one to beat now, Red Lion?
Yeah, I think he is, because I think the pace is going to suit this horse. So I quite like Red Lion. I thought he just got beaten last time. The horse has only had limited starts. He's gone really well. So happy to side with him. Leslie in there for second. I think Yo Beauty can get across. And Armour Eagle, he's got a good second up record, and he had clear excuses last time. His trial was good leading into his last start. He'll be a big price. Well, on a place line, he's not at the moment, but I think that'll drift out. 3, 9, 5 and 6.
We go with Nakoni County here. Does enjoy course and distance, like the way he got through the line last start in behind Beauty Tycoon. Only beaten 2 1/4 lengths after settling back, and he's drawn barrier 4 with Hugh Bowman on board. So 2 Nakoni County to beat 3 Red Lion. Covered ground in those early stages last time out and just missed at the post, did Red Lion. He's come up the early favourite. Starbright goes in. He'll be somewhere close to the pace from barrier 3. And I've got 9 Leslie, and especially with the light weight that he carries. He'd been knocking on the door a few times prior to that victory last start over Kung Fu Tea, but did it pretty easily. So 2, 3, 1 and 9.